the Jamaica Stock Exchange is moving again in the right direction, moving again in history and transformation and under visionary leadership. Generations to come, like my son and my son's children, by the time they are able to talk, they understand things to do with the stock exchange.
As we go this journey of market news, market education, is never enough. So we know that CBX will also provide that avenue for more content. We also interrogated our market through survey, and the result was conclusive, with approximately 70% of those interviewed stating that they needed more in-depth business information. That's why we are here.
Welcome to CBX.
I'm Keith Duncan, President of the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, and I'm here to have a conversation with my Jamaican people. And this conversation is around a project. This project is called Project Star. This is a whole of society, all of Jamaica coming together to work for Jamaica, to work for transformation of our country, to work for the transformation of our communities. Join the conversation.
The Jamaica Social Stock Exchange, JSSE, is a pioneering social platform that changes lives, empowers businesses and individuals, and positively impacts the social sector. Incorporated in 2019, and within the year of formation, was fortunate to get technical assistance from the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB. The JSSE seeks to enable social sector organizations, SSOs, that is, social enterprises and non-for-profit organizations, to attract financing through investments, to sustain project development and organizational longevity and robustness. This JSSE proprietary developed platform connects social enterprises and their projects with interested donors and investors. This case study seeks to document the success or failure of this venture and to answer the question, did the SE attract the funding and public attention to sustain longevity and robustness? So, what is the JSSE? Why was it needed?
The Jamaica Social Stock Exchange was established in 2019, and it is really copied from the Jamaica Stock Exchange itself, where the objective is to provide a safe, efficient, and ethical market.
It gives so much more exposure to all these different entities that were doing work and needed to formalize themselves and be more transparent, so it would be more aware. Everybody would be more aware of what is happening on the social scene.
To assist Jamaica to have a robust and vibrant social sector that can address some very important social problems that we have in Jamaica.
At the heart of this groundbreaking initiative is a passionate and dedicated team of individuals committed to fostering positive change in how social entities mobilize, spend, account for, and measure their contribution, revolutionizing the way social sector organizations, SSOs, that is, social enterprises, secure sustainable funding to operate. Who are the beneficiaries of the JSSE?
There are two sets of beneficiaries for this social stock exchange. The first set of beneficiaries are persons who have programs, have social projects that they want capital to seed, to get to do the work. And then the other beneficiary is the person who gives, because there is a benefit when you give and a social project is successful. It plays out in the entire social ecosystem.
As you may know, social enterprises are businesses that are run not for profit, but for the benefit of the community. And so in that process, we became involved with the Jamaica Stock Exchange to provide a means by which capital can be obtained by these social enterprises. Over the years, working together, we have got the government of Jamaica to recognize social enterprise as a viable business option. And so over the period of time, we have introduced many companies to this initiative of social enterprise.
In late 2019, the Selection and Listing Committee selected 5 non-government organizations, NGOs, to be listed on the JSSE. One of the remarkable aspects of the JSSE to date is its diverse range of impact-driven enterprises listed. Who are these 5 NGOs and what are their social impact causes? How were they selected?
Prospective applicants are invited to submit an application. The application is vetted by a selection committee that is comprised of representatives from the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange board, as well as other experts in the social services field.
The organization has to be a registered entity in Jamaica. They would have to present us with audited financial statements from their operations in the past, and of course the capacity in terms of their technical ability.
And another thing that we do in the process is also we conduct site visits just to ensure that what we're looking at exists.
Since their listings, JSSE investor donors have donated over 51.5 million Jamaican dollars to assist various SSO projects focusing on improving the lives of vulnerable individuals, organizations, and communities. Let's look at some of these social enterprises and their high-impact projects.
My name is Blake Whitmer, and I'm representative of Def Can Coffee. Our social enterprise started 8 years ago in 2015, really without a vision and a plan to have a business. But students from Kingston took a trip to St. Elizabeth. There they met a deaf coffee farmer. His name was Everlyn Clark. Clark's passion for coffee, his passion for community, his passion for who he was as a deaf person, and that strong identity influenced our youth from Kingston to believe that if he can do it, they can do it too.
My name is David Silvera. I'm with Mustard Seed Communities, which is a NGO that cares for the disabled, physically, mentally disabled, most of the children with HIV/AIDS in Jamaica. We also have a home for abused pregnant teens.
Okay, my name is Dr. Henley Morgan, and I am founder and executive chairman for Agency for Inner City Renewal.
I am Dr. Donovan Thomas, president and founder of Choose Life International. The mission of Choose Life International is to help people live physically, emotionally, and spiritually. The organization has been in existence since 2008, and our work impacts families, individuals, corporate sector, the educational sector, and the church community.
My name is Donald Rudd. I'm the managing director of a social enterprise called Love Changes Lives. Love Changes Lives operates mainly in primary and secondary schools, and we use pro-social values to counter or work to overcome children who have difficulty with antisocial behavior and who may also be involved in violent activity.
Well, the difficulties when you're trying to do social enterprises in this environment, obviously the first and foremost is we have to care. We have over just use Jamaica as an example, we have over 400 disabled and other residents in our care. We have 400 staff to pay, about 415 staff.
Lack of financing. Okay, so you might identify a need and you develop a project to address those needs, but then there is the financing.
So like any other business, the social enterprise sometimes needs capital. And generally what has happened in Mustard Seed is any proceeds go straight back into caring for the residents. So it's hard to grow a business when your profits are 100% to care for the disabled.
Lack of capacity. That means the kind of organizational structure and the staffing that can even execute the project and that can be held accountable for the use of donor funds.
So we got involved with the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange in the hope of being able to meet some of these CapEx expenses so that we could grow the social enterprise part of the business. And the contribution, we're not actually on the Social Stock Exchange as yet, but the support and the contribution and help we have gotten from them to look in that direction has been wonderful.
What were some of the requirements these SEs had to meet to list, and what was the process?
One of the good things for us though is that we believe in being compliant with what is required by government, etc. So we just needed to structure the stuff and to be able to do the submission. So all those statutory, etc. were actually in place. But we needed to write the project. All of the 5 aspects of the project that we are presenting are things that we were already doing, but we needed to bring it together in a creative way under one umbrella to be able to communicate our passion and the principles of transformation that we really were so very strong and convicted about. And to get it out there. So we worked hard with their help. We submitted papers, management, including Nora, gave us their feedback and we wrote papers. We were up late at night with my staff members, just trying to hammer out the submission. And praise God, we made the submission.
We brought on board external auditors and audit accountants and auditors. And to streamline and to put our financial records as well as business in order to what we would call first-class standards.
Transparency and accountability are key pillars of the JSSE. How were projects monitored to ensure transparency and accountability to the donor investors?
Currently, the JSSE utilizes United Way as that organization that conducts the monitoring and evaluation.
So there's accountability at different levels, and the platform is accessible to the donors at any time.
The JSSE is now moving decisively and is an active part in the change in policy by the Jamaican government to spearhead much needed policies and procedures, providing a conducive regulatory environment and incentives to encourage further and wider participation from domestic and international communities to support the transformative potential of this groundbreaking initiative.
The role and impact of the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange so far is relatively limited. It has been one of lobbying, make advocacy. They want the government to move in this direction. As I've told you, the government is moving in that direction. We expect that a social stock exchange, if not as robust as that at first, will be welcomed by the people who are supporting it and are making sure the legislation gets done as quickly as we can so we can establish it. The Jamaica Social Stock Exchange will be our baby.
Have the activities pursued by the JSSE been a success?
Market 1 has been successful, but there is a growth period. We are still growing because without the social fabric being in place in a positive way, growth of the economy does not take place.
So, what's next for the JSSE?
We would love to see, first, a great acceleration of the capital flowing in to the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange for projects, because there are so many projects. We want to see many more projects and many more persons across the globe buying into social giving with an impact.
And what I'd say is that every company that makes donations and sponsorship for events and other activities related to the social sector should be encouraged to do it through the JSSE. And so the job now is for the JSSE for persons like myself and you all to continue to spread the good news about the organization and to really get it recognized as a best place through which funds should flow to the charitable sector or to the social sector.
The government must make the playing field easy for businesses to do business so they can employ people, because the government doesn't make money, business make the money, and we get our taxes from them to do government.
Those small enterprises will become the largest employers of people in Jamaica. And they will become entities that will make a great contribution to GDP. Right now, they make a contribution estimated of about 7%. We want to see them in the future increasing that support to our gross domestic product. So that is some of the things we would like to see happening in the future.
So we want to make sure, that's why you see I'm so supportive of the stock exchange, of business, because as we make the playing field worthwhile and even and fair for people to do business well, they employ a lot more people and often pay them more as they get richer.
Many have been inspired by the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange and the transformative potential of what else it can do and achieve. By harnessing the power of finance for social good, these enterprises are creating a brighter future for Jamaica and setting an example for the world.
We want to thank all persons who have journeyed with us so far. The entities that, for example, the IDB, that has seen it fit to work with us through their financial support and other. We are indeed pleased, and we know that based on that, there is longevity of the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange.
To learn more about the JCC and how you can be part of this social transformation movement, please visit jcc.jamstockx.com. Together, we can create a world that recognizes that investments in people always bring the greatest returns.
Is it possible for communities across Jamaica to move forward?
At Project Star, we believe it is.
Project Star is working with communities
so we can better ourselves and better our community.
All of us are from here, we belong here, this is our place, and if we don't take care of it, no one else will.
Each of us,
all of us, can work together to make a real difference.
It's actually a wonderful thing, giving persons chances, opportunities.
This is real. All we have to do is just work together.
Everybody. Everybody.
All are we. Let's build together.
One block at a time.
Helping each other to grow.
Everybody forward.
Forward.
Forward. Forward.
Everybody forward.
To find out more and to join the movement, visit projectstarja.com. Everybody forward.
Today is another historic moment as we move to the next phase in the social transformation of our beloved country. Today we'll be listing Project Star on the platform of the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange. And we are happy to have everyone here. This is something that was conceptualized a long time ago, and we are now making great strides towards social transformation. But I will not give Dr. Farr's speech today. Thank you, Robin. I will ask none other than the principal of the Jamaica Stock Exchange eCampus, Mr. Kevin Powell, to lead us in prayer.
Dear Lord Jesus, we thank you for the blessings of a new day. We thank you for the Jamaica Stock Exchange, and we thank you for Project STAR, an institution, an organization that exists for the betterment of this country, Jamaica, to improve the social fabric of the lives of each citizen in this country. And we thank you today for this historic moment, the listing on the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange. Lord Jesus, we thank you for all the principles of this institution, this organization, this project. We pray that you cover them, pray that you continue to guide them and bless their hearts, that the abundance of the blessings that you will bestow will be down to the benefit of our island, Jamaica. Bless us today as we go through this ceremony. We ask that everyone gathered here will be more fruitful and more blessed for having been here today. Bless us, we pray, in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Principal. Only way to start is with prayer as we give thanks for this momentous occasion. I'm now going to ask our Managing Director, Dr. Marlene Street Forrest, to do the official welcome and opening remarks. Please welcome.
Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Andre Gooden, Group Business Development Manager, Senator Aubin Hill, Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Mr. Keith Duncan, Executive Director, JMMB and Project STAR, Sponsor STAR, Ms. Safri Brown, Director, Project STAR, other members of the Project STAR team, Professor Neville Ying, Chairman of the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange, JSSE, Ms. Charmaine Brim, Chairman of the JSSE Listing and Standards Committee, other members of the board of the JSSE, Ms. Nora Blake, Manager JSSE, members of the JSE team, Reverend Dr. Elaine McCarthy, past chair of the Jamaica Umbrella of Churches, members of the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. It is with honor and really a sense of pleasure that the Jamaica Stock Exchange, and more importantly, the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange, welcome you to this historic listing of Project STAR on the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange, the JSSE. This is a landmark listing as it represents the first of its kind in Jamaica or anywhere else in the Caribbean, and I'd probably say in the world. Coming after the raising of funds through a social public offering. I think they deserve another applause. This has certainly been a journey through ideation, collaboration, and significant investment by corporate Jamaica and the social sector, and is worthy of commendation for all the parties involved. Today also marks the first listing ceremony of the JSSE for the year, and its 5th listing to date. And that is good because we have just started the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange. So I think I wish to just pause for a moment and say to everyone, we can exhale. This has been a journey. Exhale because since we launched this platform for the mobilization of social capital, it has been a voyage of new discoveries into the intricacies of the social sector the challenges that exist, and the absolute need for the further development of the social infrastructure. I know Prof. Ying might say it has not been a journey for him, but believe me, for most of us, it has been a journey. It validates for us, though, the need for the stock exchange or launch of the platform 5 years ago, and that the work that is being done is necessary and relevant, and despite many of the obstacles faced, we will continue, right, Robin? That's correct. Yes. We have no doubt that the team at Project Star feels the same way in regard to their commitment to the implementation of its plan for social enrichment. We wish to use this platform to commend Project Star on taking on this ambitious exercise, which we believe will have a transformative effect on Jamaica. And I smile because when we meet, we always talk about the ambitious exercise of Project Star. We think it's ambitious, we think it's doable, and with the people at the helm, we know that you shall achieve the goal. We further commend you on your astuteness of not only raising social capital through the utilization of the market mechanism, but of wanting to list on the JSSE, further showing your commitment to transparency and governance. The private sector organization of Jamaica through Project Star is also making a public declaration that lives can and will be changed positively when the financial sector works hand in hand with the social sector, and that the communication and measurement through an independent portal such as the JSSE is critical to your success. I thank each person, great and small, for any and every contribution made to the social sector, whether in cash or in kind, as we build the sector through improvement in the framework for governance, measurement of the social impact and sustainability. I'd like to thank the volunteers, because, for example, all the persons working at the JSSE, except for management, they are volunteers, and many agencies behind this move for the formalization of the sector. Please indulge me in acknowledging the board of the JSSE and its Listing and Standards Committee, who were willing to put their professional capital and time to the creation of our internal mechanism to ensure checks and balances and proper vetting of all our projects. Project Star is listing today because of the proper due diligence and approval of the JSSE Listing and Standards Committee. I wish to recognize that process, the team, and also Project Star in subjecting itself to the scrutiny of listing. The question will be asked as to what listing means. It means that Project Star, having successfully raised approximately 14.7 million in the first round of capital raised through the social IPO, and while the project is not fully funded, it will have the opportunity, because it came to market, to return to market to access additional capital. However, the journey is in progress, and the listing today will take the project in a post-listing environment. I pause there. The listing today will take this project in a post-listing environment. In this environment, there will be the disbursement of funds to the entity to execute on the approved programs, the process of reporting and monitoring, which is the remit of Project Star and the JSSE respectively, the assignment of independent body to the project, and the assessment of social impact. There is more to be done and more monies to be raised for this project and the four other projects that are listed. So we crave the support of persons both locally and in the diaspora. I want to thank the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, who have noticed in recent times, each time they give a message, they speak about the Jamaica Social Transformation and the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange. Can we have an applause for them? Ladies and gentlemen, I believe Project Star listing today and their interaction with the JSSC can be a catalyst for more corporate foundations and Jamaicans to access the JSSC's platform, which is a vehicle to ensure a fair, efficient, and transparent mechanism for mobilization of social capital and building sustainability. It is said that uneasy is the head that wears the crown. We know that beginning today, there will be additional scrutiny of the JSSE and Project Star, just because we list Project Star too. It's big. And so there is going to be additional scrutiny for the JSSE. The public who has invested social capital will be looking on to see the impact of this investment and how responsive this entity is to the social investors. I close with a quote from Robert Putnam, which I believe underpins the social stock exchange's consciousness. He says, community connectedness is not just about warm, fuzzy tales of civic triumph. In measurable and well-documented ways, social capital makes an enormous difference in our lives. Social capital makes us smarter, healthier, safer, richer, and better able to govern a just and stable democracy. That is what everyone here craves today. Finally, again, I congratulate Project Star on the listing today, and thank you all for being a part of this memorable occasion. We look forward to having you all on board as we continue the journey of building our country and empowering our people. Welcome all, and I cannot help but say our doors are always open to you.
Yes, we're in fact open for business. Thank you, Dr. Marlene Street Forrest, for the opening remarks, and welcome. Certainly, we have to work hand in hand, developing the financial infrastructure, must work with the social infrastructure as well, Minister. And you well know and you preach it a lot, so I don't have to say it again. But this is the big step towards matching the financial successes we've had with developing a social infrastructure. And we look forward to the legislation being passed as well, which will help us in that direction. When you send it? It has been sent. Charmaine can tell you. All right. I'm now going to ask the man of the moment, the Chief Executive Officer, JMMB Group, and one of the primary sponsors of Project Star, none other than Mr. Keith Duncan, to bring his remarks.
Big moment, big moment. And I'm happy to be here with you all this morning. You know, I'd like to acknowledge my friend, Senator Aubin Hill, Minister. Thank you for coming this morning. Thank you for agreeing to be with us this morning and to share your remarks this morning. I really do appreciate it. Dr. Marlene Street Forrest, boy, thank you all for the support, Marlene. I know I have to call you and behave like a tick sometime, but it's in my nature, okay? The president of the JSD is not here. I know he's traveling. But we have Therese Kettle here, who is representing. Thank you for being here, and thanks to Ramon for all his support and the JSDA. Thank you to the Credit Union League, Mr. Robin Levy, and I'd like to thank also Roxanne Linton, who also is a key member of Project Star and a member of our economic team, transformation oversight team, and also someone who has given her time to Project Star. Roxanne, thank you very much. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Patray Rowe, who actually sits on the Project Star Oversight Committee and is a member of the technical team from the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Patray has been here from the outset and has worked very closely as partners with the Jamaica Constabulary Force and the PSOJ in conceptualizing and bringing Project STAR into an execution mode. Project STAR is 1 year up and running, over a year and a half we're up and running, and we have delivered our first annual report review so far. I'd like to also just say gratitude is a must. Gratitude is a must. So this is a significant milestone for us today, and I'm really happy to be here, to be able to be here for the listening this morning. From the inception of Project STAR, we recognize that governance and transparency is important. Not only important for for financials and donors and the business community and the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange and the Jamaica Stock Exchange, but important because we have to build trust. We have to build transparency and accountability. Extremely important. And we're not only accountable to the investors who have come on board and supported, we're accountable to the wider Jamaica for this project. We're accountable to the communities that Project STAR is targeting and doing work in. We're accountable to those communities. The communities are also accountable for the work that they have to deliver, as they have to have ownership of the programs of Project STAR because it's theirs. So while we want to bring transparency and governance, which we have a strong, robust governance process in place with our oversight committee, our management and reporting committees, our technical stakeholder groups, our community transformation boards, we believe in governance, strong governance. And we just like to thank the JSSE for giving us this opportunity and this platform to be able to demonstrate to Jamaica what is possible, right? So Marlene, thank you very much. The chairman of the Jamaica Stock Exchange, I must thank him also, Mr. Julian Mayer. He's not with us this morning, but he has been a driver and he put in a significant effort in making this possible. So, Project STAR is about collaboration and partnership. And as you said, we worked with the Jamaica Bankers Association, Audrey Tugwell Henry and her team. We worked along with Ramon Small Ferguson at Jamaica Security Dealers Association. We worked along with the Credit Union Movement, and we worked with the Jamaica Security Dealers Association. As I said, we worked all together, giving it our best effort to get the whole investment ecosystem, the financial ecosystem, linked to social investments. We have some work to do. We do have some work to do. We're able to therefore have this milestone listing, but we do have some more work to do. And I hope that public education, investor education will continue from the JSSE, and we're willing to support, and Project STAR is willing to be an example for others wanting to list, and for the investor community, the financial ecosystem, to see the social return on investment and what this investment will do for their country, Jamaica, and the communities and individuals. Because we believe every community can thrive. Through this campaign, we have been able to get the national visibility because we launched a really powerful campaign for at least 4 months, 4 or 5 months from about May through to about November we closed out. And we have been able to, over the life of STAR, up to date, raise over $400 million. So that campaign And that 400 million is multi-year commitments, right, Nora? Multi-year commitments, okay? And we have strong donor community, a strong donor community. And key corporates in Jamaica that have chosen the route of investing directly in Project Star and not necessarily through the so the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange. So we're happy to receive those funds, right? But the JSSE has given us that visibility, and also knowing that we have reporting requirements, which is very important, right? To ensuring that the transparency is there and they can feel comfortable that there is that process in place. I'd like to also to thank the PricewaterhouseCoopers, PwC, because PwC has come on board and they're doing our audits outside of coming with a total package of $52 million. Pricewaterhouse, they are actually doing our audits, our annual audits as part of that package, so we can deliver the annual audit to the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange and Jamaica and the diaspora community and everyone, so that they can see, real accountability and transparency. And I think we have made significant progress in the awareness. I think Project Star now has somewhat of a national profile, and So on that note, right? I'd like to thank our media partners, because our media partners came on board also and supported us. We're able to negotiate where they would give us some visibility. We had to pay some money, right? But they gave us visibility. The Observer Group, Mello, RG Artlina Group, Nationwide Network. Nationwide Network has come on now as multi-year donor commitments in kind, giving us time and space on air. CVM, Love FM, IRI FM, Zip FM, and CBX. CBX, we get visibility from CBX. From the date we open the listing, CBX has been giving us that platform also. So thank you for them. A little bit about Project Star. So from our fundraising efforts, and we have been able to the value proposition of improving educational outcomes, creation of safer communities, strengthening family and school well-being, focus on jobs, entrepreneurship, right? So the key pillars are social cohesion, social protection, the economic pillar, which includes financial inclusion, right? Entrepreneurship, job creation, or just finding those pathways, because the economy is already creating the jobs, right? And creating, we're at 4.2%. We're almost at full employment, if not at full employment already. And there's a real opportunity for us to now unearth from the community, because the unemployment rate in the star communities range, average somewhere around 15 to 20, or 25 up to 35% within these communities. But the national average is 4.2%. Then there's unattached that are within these communities also. But we recognize this as an opportunity to unleash the human capital from within these communities. And we're doing the work. And it's some bright young people that we're unleashing on the workforce. That is the most gratifying work I've ever done in my life so far, to see those people get engaged like that, right? So on the social side, social cohesion, we have rolled out early childhood school feeding programs, summer camp, homework programs, parenting groups, psychosocial counseling, sports programs. On the social protection side, we have been able to create access for senior citizens through social welfare and health access to health care, and on the economic side, we have been able to work with them in creating job opportunities, because as the PSOJ, we have been able to link into the PSOJ network and work with the corporates, not only corporates, but small and medium enterprises, sir, to have the job bank created and then we create the supply of labor from these star communities. We have done very well, and I think Safra Brown, our project director, has put in a scalable structure now, because, you know, I was approaching this thing in an incremental way, and Safra says, no, we're putting some structure around this key. And we have a well-oiled team in place now that is now going to be able to connect the private sector and the economy that, Minister, you know, I know I'm proud of myself, you know, with the 4.2%, right? And it is the lowest in the history of Jamaica that we are at this level of unemployment levels of 4.2%. It's a big, big thing. Sometimes we just take these things for granted, right? Sometimes we take these things for granted, like it's par for the course. It took a lot of work for Jamaica to get here, and it takes continuous work and fiscal discipline to keep us on this path, ensuring that there's macroeconomic stability, ensuring that we free up the fiscal space to be able to invest in education, infrastructure, our social capital, or human capital. That's my epoch hat. So I'll just take off my epoch hat. Sorry, I was getting carried away with my epoch role, but I'll move back to Project Star now. So when we're able to take the young people, not only young people up to age 50s, in their 50s, from the communities, and to be able to put them through an employment readiness program which focuses on mindset, because it is important, because they need to know that they are great and they have the potential and they can manifest their potential. That's where the focus is, on ensuring that they have the work ethic, that they know how to function in a structured work environment, right? That they know they must go to work on time, that they only can eat lunch when it's lunchtime, okay? Basic things like that. However, it's more the mindset, because they're all looking to find a way to be productive human beings so that they can take care of their families and their communities. And I'm happy to say that we have at over 74 people at this early in the program are in jobs, in solid jobs, retain their jobs, right, and have been walking back into their communities, because we put them to a dress for success. And dress up. When you see them, when we had the Maypen graduation last week of over 30, everybody in them suit, them have tie. I don't have a tie, them have on them tie, them dress up, and they're out for interviews, and some of them are being placed. I think one has been placed at Sutherland Group, another has been placed at Flow, out of that Maypen Group, and more are being placed as we sit, and we're offering them for opportunities. We're not asking the private sector to give them a job, you know. We're saying give them an opportunity. And one of the issues is that because our private sector looks at communities in a particular way and expect a particular kind of behavior, right, from these communities, we have been able to prepare the members of these communities. And I'm telling you, when we hear from the HR managers, they're so absolutely impressed when they walk through the door with their resume, which they learn to write, we do mock interviews with them, and when they walk through that door and they interview, 8 times out of 10, they're going to get that job. Right? So, most importantly, over 1,800 citizens of the communities that we're in, East Downtown, Kingston, Rose Garden, Parade Gardens, Savlamar, Maypen, moving into Salt Spring, over 1,800 citizens have been touched by this program, have participated in the program to date. Project STAR, through its community entry strategy, has built a trust with the communities, because they have been very skeptical, because they see these things coming in and out, in for 6 months, in for a year, have some meeting and gone. And they have not seen these programs as being sustainable. But Project STAR is a 5-year program to be in these communities. So you have to rebuild the trust with the community. What is especially heartening for me now is to see the people coming out and leading the programs now, participating in the programs, in coming up with the ideas, right? And putting in place the community transformation boards, where the community guides the strategic transformational efforts of the community. So when we package all of these programs into a community development program, it's owned by the communities. And that is the most important element to sustainability, because we are institutionalizing through these boards, through the community-based organizations, through partnership with ministries, departments, and agencies, the NGO community, it's being institutionalized. So when Project Star exit, this is institutionalized within the community. Okay? Which is very important. So about these public-private partnerships, I want to acknowledge the Jamaica Constabulary Force, under the leadership of Major General Anthony Anderson, because he has been there from the outset. And he has guided us. He's co-chair of the Oversight Committee along with myself. He has guided this, and JCF and through their Citizen Security Safety Division have been on the ground working with us. The police are so enthusiastic about Project Star and doing the work with Project Star, because they know they needed this element to be built out. And so therefore I'd like to acknowledge the Jamaica Constabulary Force for the work, because they create a safe space for us to work to. When we were going in there with street side football, because all the youth them wanted to do is play football, but they couldn't play in a football, right? Because of the violence in the community. The JCF created that safe space, and now we have the youth them playing football every Sunday, or most Sundays. Sometimes I've pulled back a little, but most Sundays all we provide is like water and football, and through the communities they are playing them street side football. Right, sir? Yes, sir. That's our sportsman right there, the sports development officer. Okay? And, the partnerships are important, and I would like to really, thank the government of Jamaica through the Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Horace Jang, the Honorable Dr. Horace Jang, for opening the pathways for building partnerships with the government of Jamaica, ministries, departments, and agencies. And we have been able to build relationships with HEART, with the Social Development Commission, right? Building out the relationship with the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, building out the relationship with the Ministry of Education and Youth, building out the relationship with the Port Authority, building out the relationship with the Jamaica Defense Force, because they have the Jamaica National Service Corps, and we are wanting to create residential camps, etc. So this is a holistic, whole-away approach to development of communities in Jamaica, right? And Project Star is not excuse. Project Star is working with the programs of the government of Jamaica, the NGO community, and working together. And through that, what you have is a whole synergistic impact, right? And when you're blanketing the community with all of these programs across social, economic, and community leadership, right, what you're building are strong, thriving communities, right? So I know I chat too much now, so I'm going to now move on. But we are also non-political, but we have received strong endorsements and support from the Prime Minister, and as I said, Dr. Horace Jang, and also from the opposition leader, who has said that we must fund this program, man. We must fund the program. Project Star must be funded at the national level. You understand? Well, thank you, Mr. Golden, for that. You know what I mean? But we are sure that we will continue to build those relationships. We have strong relations with the GOJ, etc. Right? I think, as Marlene has said, and Andre have said, we have built out, this is a great start for us with this listing, and we have more work to do, right? So I'd like to thank Chairman Mears, Dr. Marlene Street Forrest, Nora Blake, Andre Gooden, for all the support and the JSSE team, because we put on a lot of stress. So we want to thank you so much for your efforts, right? I'd like to thank Alana Lawrence, who is not here, but I just came off the phone with her, for her efforts in leading the listing effort. I'd like to also thank Matthew Hogarth, who provided the legal service. I just had a call with Matthew on the way down, just to thank him very much for his services that he provided pro bono. I want to appreciate Matthew for that. But the Project Star director and project director, Safra Brown, continues to lead. She's passionate. She carried me to some place we can't believe, say. We go to them place, they say, well, where the police there? Where the police there? You know what I mean? But she does a walk through there like, when I say, Safra, you know, I feel a little vulnerable here, okay? But, like, I don't know, there's something wrong with her. But, you know, the volunteers in the governance process, you know, we have like Tarun Handa, managing partner from KPMG, who chairs our finance committee, along with Patrick Ellis, Group CFO, JMB, who is on that finance committee, Peter Goldson, who chairs our legal and contracts committee from MF&G, managing partner, Ian Nita, who chairs our management and reporting committee, former president of the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce. And these guys have been putting the time and the hours and the passion right into this project. You know what I mean? And there are many more. Audrey Tugwell Henry, who sits on our oversight committee. You know, Safra said a name, but I can't recognize what she said. But that's Heidi Layla from Sandals Foundation. Heidi Clark from Sandals Foundation. No, Sandals Foundation, you know, actually brought $60 million to the program, you know, 50. Jamie B did 60. But Sandals did 50. And Pricewaterhouse did 52 in cash and kind, right? Marita has come on board big time too. I want to thank them, you know, they also for coming on board. NCB, Scotia Bank, I mean, you know, Mussoon Group, Carreras, 35, right? So I can't name the whole of them, right? But let's give you an example of Mayberry. We can't have to big up Mayberry, you know, because Mr. Berry, you know what I mean? We have to big up Mayberry for coming on board, Proven, etc., right? They have all supported. So the financial ecosystem is being connected. Now we need them at the individual investor base to come on board, right? So we have work to do in that regard. So I want to just thank everybody once again, because I believe that we can make Jamaica that place, what I'm saying on the Vision 2030? Exactly, that sounds good to me. The place where we I am totally on board, because we believe that every community can thrive. Every individual deserves an opportunity, right? And since Marlene ended with a quote, me want to end with a quote, right? But so my quote go like this, and it's from Bob Marley since it's Reggae Week, right? Let's make way for a positive. Today's Bob Marley's birthday? Yes. And it's Bob Marley's birthday today too, right? Let's make way for a positive day. Everybody, have a wonderful day.
Couldn't have done it. If I were to summarize what Keith just said, it is sustainable social growth through partnerships, which is the motto of the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange. Sustainable growth through partnerships. We'll do it together. Thank you very much, Keith. Also want to acknowledge Onika Barrett, who is a director of the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange. Also Denise Williams, another director, also here. And Dr. Mann is also, okay, yes, welcome. Happy to have you. All right, very, very quickly we're going to move on. Thank you very much, Keith, very passionate as usual. Give him a round of applause, please. A lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifice to get us here. I'm now going to ask none other than the chairman of the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange, the man with the vision, Professor Neverying, to come and give us his remarks. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Andre. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another series, part of the series of the Marlene and Never Show. Now, why did I say that? Because I want to give you some contextual information as to why we're here this morning. In 2003, I met a young lady called Marlene Street Forrest at the Hilton Hotel in Montego Bay. And she said to me, Neville, I would like to take our listed companies to another level. So can you come and share what we call the International Best Practices Committee of the Jamaica Stock Exchange? Like a fool, you know, when a lady talked to you in a hotel, I agreed. What was the result of that? Our companies are now under scrutiny every year from us about their best practices. And as a result of that, the Jamaica Stock Exchange became the #1 stock exchange in the world for 2 years in a row. In January 2019, the same young lady said to me, we're going to start something called the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange. Would you chair that for us? Like another idiot again, I said, yes. So here we are today, welcoming yet another project called Project STAR. And the summary of what I'm going to say to you is that I'm going to make sure that Keith Duncan and his team deliver everything that he said. That's our role. I'm also going to take the lead from Keith, because when I looked at the program, it said, brief remarks. And so, Keith, I'll use you as a model in terms of the remarks that I'm going to make. The project, as you know, is strongly supported by the private sector. And like everything else, to whom a lot is given, a lot is expected. So, Keith, I was very happy that you lay out the expectations that we are going to have of you when we start to monitor this project. Well, let me share with you what are our expectations so that you're pretty clear what we are going to look for, okay? So, let me start with what our expectations are. We expect this project to focus on the impact that it will have on our social development in Jamaica. So that's the overall framework within which the JSSC will be looking at this project. And what do we mean by that? We mean that this project must uplift the people in different communities and better their lives and livelihood when this project is going. So that's the first expectation. Second, and you mentioned it, and we're going to hold you to that, we expect the project to work in collaboration. There are several other projects and persons operating in the same space that you will be. What we expect is that you'll all come together for the common good of Jamaica. So that's the second expectation. So let me go quickly to the other one. Now, we have something called a large part of Jamaica called the diaspora. Based on the estimates that I did in 2014, which need to be updated, we have 3 million persons of Jamaican descent and Jamaicans in the diaspora across the world. And that's a very important group to collaborate with, because over the years, their strongest contribution, apart from the $2 billion annually for remittances, is their contribution to social development. And they have been working in communities and in areas like education and health. And we want to thank them, and I want us to record our gratitude to the diaspora for their involvement in social development in Jamaica. Keith, the other thing we'll hold you to is exactly what you said, the synergistic impact of all of these collaborations that we're going to bring forward. Now, why is that important? Because the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange is built on 3 pillars: people, prosperity, and partnership. And so that's within the framework that we expect Project STAR to fall. Now, following international best practices, the first thing I want to say is that when we went through all the documentation that was submitted by the STAR project, I know Safri grin our teeth every minute to say they're asking for something else. But that's the way we operate. And so we are glad that you put up with us as we put up with you, because we want to make sure that those three pillars are strengthened by this project. The whole thing about people, prosperity, and partnership. So following international best practices, we have also established what is called a monitoring and evaluation committee. And that committee is going to be like an external auditor. We know from what we read from your documents and what you said this morning that you have a very robust team internally that will be tracking your project. We are going to provide the external monitoring of that project to make sure that you stay on track. So, let me get to the final part of what I'm going to say. When we come down to the nitty-gritty, what we are interested in is the empowerment of people in communities. And what do we mean by that? We expect Project STAR to build what we call the creative capacity of people in each community. And why is that important? Because we want them to have the creativity to deal with the problems that they face out there on a daily basis. And what are some of these problems in vulnerable communities? It's poverty, discrimination, unemployment, hunger, lack of housing, and the ongoing temptation to be involved in crime and violence. Secondly, we want to have persons being served as well as the person serving them to practice certain core values. And what are these? So what we expect of Project STAR, as well as the people out there, are what? Honesty, integrity, fair play, equal rights, justice, trustworthiness, and excellent work ethic. That's another expectation. So at this stage, and using about just a tenth of the time that Keith took up, I'll now say, Project STAR, congratulations. We have taken you through the rigor, and every minute we ask you for another piece of documentation. And so we congratulate you. And what we expect is that Project STAR will shine in the constellation of all projects in Jamaica. We look forward to your positive contribution to our national development. Thank you.
Well done, Chairman. Thank you very much. We're now going to be doing the exercise of the insertion, previously known as the insertion of the strip. For the first time, we're also going to be using a digital board today to officially insert Project STAR as being listed on the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange platform. All the photos now, it's done. We can do some more after, certainly. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Project STAR is now listed on the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange. Okay. Okay, who, very quickly now, we'll come back, man. Ladies and gentlemen, now the ceremony of, very quickly. No, we can do it after. We can do the photography after. All right, very quickly, Keith, you want to just please receive the rule book. Please, the rule book from, okay. Safri, I'm going to ask you to receive the rule book from Nora. All right, Nora, come forward, please, Safri. This is the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange rules to be received by Safra Brown, presented by Nora Blake, manager of the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange. All right. All right. All right. We can take more photos after. All right, thank you very much. I now ask Minister Hill to come forward and make his presentation. Please welcome him.
Professor Neville Ying, Chairman of the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange, Chairman of everything, really. Dr. Marlene Street Forrest, I have special love and appreciation for Dr. Marlene. I have seen her over 20 years. I remember when Marlene came to a board that I serve on. I said, where's she carrying this message? And this woman was like relentless. She has been committed to this. And I happen to have been privileged to serve on a committee that made sure that she is the Honorable Dr. Marlene Street Forrest, OJ. So now we have to go talk to the Prime Minister. Not here yet, but I'm sure in time Marlene will, because she has done so much for Jamaica and this country. Mr. Keith Duncan, I'll talk more about him because he's indefatigable. It's amazing what Keith has done. I'll mention that in a little bit more. He is a co-project sponsor of Project STAR. I didn't know anything about Project STAR, much. And then I'm on social media, and I saw this posting, and Keith must have been absolutely surprised when I contacted him on WhatsApp and said, what an amazing post you have. And I have a lot of followers around the world. I reposted it on all the social media, and the responses I had from India, the Middle East, all over the world because of that posting that Keith did. You probably saw it. It was amazing. That's when I became aware of Project STAR. Really, I studied it. It was amazing. Ms. Nora Blake, Manager, Jamaica Social Stock Exchange, very vital. Mr. Andre Gooden, media practitioners, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. The amount of people Keith thanked already. Everybody who is important in the world has been thanked, and everybody in here is particularly important. And I'm very, very happy that you're here. Substantial progress in a country happens when all aspects of life and different parts of society improve. You hear Keith mention government. We have to start there. It's my job, okay? So nobody get upset. Him start with the Minister of National Security, the Prime Minister, or Minister, the Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, all the agencies. Then him talk about 35, I think it's 35 you told him. Private sector people, him could him call all of them. All the big names with the big money, Keith know them. And that when those parts come together, the church, the communities, then we have improvement in our country. True development then is about enhancing the well-being of people, educating and empowering the population, and preserving the environment for future generations. Keith is involved in every single part of that statement. So when we were preparing this, we just look at it. The Jamaica Social Stock Exchange represents an avenue for socially responsible investors. Not just people who want to make money, but people who want to do well so that they can do good. And that's really what the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange is about. People interested in contributing and improving the quality of life in Jamaica. And those people are not just in Jamaica. They're in the diaspora. There are some foreign investors, all kinds of people. But to make sure life is better in Jamaica for all of us. Invest and wholesome projects that require public funding and by extension promote the socio-economic is what we usually say. But this time we're talking about the socio-cultural economy and the production and protection of the physical environment. Today signifies a significant milestone for both the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange and Project STAR, a commendable social and economic development initiative spearheaded by the private sector organization of Jamaica. Love the private sector, is that's where me come from, and me know say the Prime Minister's salary, Nigel's salary, my salary, all of them, all of us salary, and anybody in here who work for the government paid for by business. No apologies. And you're going to tell me, say, but government people pay taxes. So where them get the money from to pay taxes in the first place? It comes from tax from the corporate. When we borrow money, is them, you, the corporate people, the private sector have to pay it back because it's you pay the taxes. So me have a great respect. Now me can't change the name of the ministry because it's only Prime Minister can do that. But me can sub-brand. So me sub-brand Jamaica's business ministry. I'm right there with you, beside you every single day. It brings me immense pleasure as the Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Jamaica's business ministry, to participate in this momentous listing ceremony of Project STAR, which we've just done. Project STAR was founded on an aspiration to instigate social transformation through focused interventions in under-resourced areas of Jamaica. So nobody tell me when you hear about we have aspiration, that's not good. How you get anywhere unless you aspire to something? So Keith and him friends them aspire. I don't know him get this idea from, but anyway, him get this idea and him get all these rich people around him. You know, hear the people him call. Me no want to go over there because them going to say, no, me going to send tax people on them. But come to that, we have raised taxes in 8 years, you know that? We have raised taxes. Your corporate people, you pay taxes, give me a clap. We have we have raised taxes in all those years, but I commend Project STAR, its co-chairman and project sponsor, Keith Duncan. And this is where I want to stop and talk about Keith. Because you hear him talk about getting things done. Nothing gets done unless you have a leader. Which committee ever say bill anything? Committees no bill nothing. It's leaders. Keith has stepped forward with a bunch of leaders. Professor Ying as chairman of the stock exchange. Marlene, as I talked to you about already. All those other leaders that you hear about here that he called this morning. But Keith, somebody has to be there to hold it together. Leadership is important. Let's thank Keith and his group, but especially Keith for his leadership. So when I come into the ministry, and me stir up things because they couldn't be surprised. Me said, Prime Minister never send me there to keep everything as it is. Otherwise, he wouldn't send me, they send somebody else. So when me go there and stir up 2 things, me hear how me not like women. And then me point out, say, all the CEOs that I've appointed are not just women, they are young, bright women. You hear me? So, the Andrew Holness administration has had and will continue to practice our unwavering commitment to support the Jamaica Stock Exchange, the Junior Stock Exchange, and now the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange. And let me tell you why I'm stressing that. Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Levy. You know why I'm stressing that? Because the Junior Stock Exchange came under severe pressure. I'm not going to expose any private conversation Marlene and I had in those days. And I was then advisor leading as chairman of the leader of the opposition then, Andrew Holness, Economic Advisory Council. And I used to write for the Gleaner, and I got in the Gleaner. Favour Williams got in the Gleaner. And they almost go ballistic because this him did start it in 2007, 2008. And we made, and just in 2016, just before the election, the Prime Minister at your annual conference made it absolutely clear that we'll support it. Well, since then, billions of dollars have gone to ordinary Jamaicans that wouldn't get into a bank, no have no PhD, but them understand. Me like your PhD, no doctor, and you're young. They get into people who, Danny Williams, Douglas O'Rain, one-on-one, which I came here to launch when they were listed, to open them wallet to a young guy who is in his 20s, set up a company that is now providing cybersecurity advice and work for companies in the United States. One-on-one listed on the Junior Stock Exchange. Those billions couldn't come unless we supported it, and we made sure we supported it and continue to do that. So I went to a Project Star thing, a forklift. Them train people to do forklift for D&G Foundation. Me go there and you see these little kids, bright and sharp, in them white shirt and black pants. And there was one young lady in there, forklifting. She was very, very good at what she does. Now, I bring that up to say Project Star is changing communities. We are at 4.5%, 4.2% unemployment. So from the time we hit 7%, we set a historic target. When we came in, it was 13.4%. So at 7%, we had a historic target. 6.5, 6, 4.5, now 4.2, the lowest in our history. So we've had 5 or 6 records of low unemployment. Project Star is now going into communities. Remember, 4.2 is the average. Keith tell you say in their communities 15, 20%. That's where we have the people. Project Star is vital to make sure we find the young people with brains to make sure they can work in our economy. Otherwise, you hear people say we have to go import people. No, we have to go train a lot of people first. Project Star is doing a fantastic job to make sure that becomes a reality to people who normally wouldn't be looked at. And the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange is providing money for people who would never get a chance. Wouldn't look at them because of the addresses they come from. My HR at NCB would probably not look at them. They wouldn't tell me that, you know. But them just know if it comes with this address, then put it over here, sir, and turn it over. Because the address was wrong. Project Star is making every one of those addresses good addresses for this Jamaican economy. Congratulations to you guys. So, you know, I'm going to close by telling you this story. When I came to NCB maybe had, I don't know, 1,800, 2,000 people, maybe a little more. We were buying all those uniforms overseas. So they come to me and say, sign this to import uniform. I say, import what? I said, look, when I went to Monroe, is a tailor make my pants and a lady make my shirt. And the lady made all those uniforms for the Hampton girls, uniforms that we boys at Monroe really liked. Just saying, you know. Oh, all right, go back to this before I get in trouble. So they came to me and said, sign this. I said, no, I'm not signing it. I said, how you mean, we can't make uniforms in Jamaica? So I pick up the phone, and Doreen Frankson was the head of the JMEA then. It was the Jamaica Exporters Association at the time. I said, Doreen, send me the 3 best people who make uniforms in this country. I get them, we pick one. Then I find out that them used to give 1-year contract. I gave a 5-year contract worth $80 million to a lady who used to run, or the one who won, out of her room, her house. So then she was able to rent a 24,000 square foot place, buy machines, which NCB financed, pay herself back, and then she was on the road. And now she makes for courts, she makes for JN, she makes for the Bank of Jamaica. But what really makes my heart shine, she exports to 13 different countries. Mark Designs, her son left his big job at Abbott Laboratories, come home and help her. They built this business. They have the... So what I'm saying to you, big companies must work with small companies to make them bigger. When the big companies work with the small companies, they're not doing them any favor, because now Miss Marcia Nicely, I'm going to call her name. Miss Marcia Nicely, I don't know, maybe had 10 people when we gave her the contract. That firm now employs 140 Jamaicans that export to 13 different countries. Them 140 people buy all, first of all, them bank with NCB, them buy Courts products, them, so you know them, it builds the economy. So I want this year, I pushed export last year, continue to push it. This year, may I push the big companies like JMB, who gives 60 million to this Project Star, like NCB, like Scotia, like Grace, like Jamaica Brothers Group, must find ways to work with small Jamaican companies. Sometimes you have to help them, like Toyota. When Toyota started in Japan, there were no mechanics, no engineers. Them find engineering place, build them the office, give them the work, and now Toyota is the #1 car maker in the world. We can say, Jamaica to the world. We must do that too, but big companies must begin to say, how can I source this in Jamaica, or how can I help a Project Star-like company to source it in Jamaica? So as we work for peace, as you employ people from Project Star, when you employ them, they become much more peaceful, they become much more productive. We want productivity to go up. We have one of the lowest productivity rates in the world. We have to change that. Project Star is doing that. There's so many good things about Project Star. And then, of course, prosperity. Now, I'm into prosperity. Me run banks a long time. Me like prosperity. So I'm going to say to you, as we change, Jamaica's paradigm is changing. The Financial Times says that we're so good, we're under-recognized, and we could be advising other big countries. Of course, we're not going to name the country. You can go read the paper for yourself. So we can advise other people, but really, our paradigm is changing. We have a good country going for us. Project Star is a great initiative. They're employing people, they're giving them discipline, they make sure they have better salaries, they make sure in time they're going to have better housing. God bless you, my brother. You couldn't be doing better. Keith and all is good. I thank you all so much. Power, prosperity to Project Star.
You cover everybody. The only person you didn't thank is yourself, so I'll thank you. Thank you, Minister, for that excellent, passionate presentation. We can always count on the Minister. And in closing, all I have to say is that the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange exists to provide a platform for social transformation. We now have 4 projects listed on our platform. 5, beg your pardon. 5, sorry. There are projects that are still in need of funding, right? Project Star is still in need of support. Choose Life International is still in need of support. The Jamming Project from the Agency for Inner-City Renewal, and of course the Love Changes Lives Project. Visit jsscja.com and you can make your donation, contributions, investments in the future of Jamaica. jsscja.com, click on projects and click on donate, and you can do it online. Thank you very much again, Minister. And As we close, I'm just reminding you that outside we have coffee being served by none other than Defcan Coffee, one of the listed projects on the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange. Thank you very much for coming, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Project STAR is on a mission to help improve lives and transform communities.
My personal hope for my community's development.
I'd like to see unity in my community.
Violence has to stop.
We can do it. Anything that we put our minds to, we can do.
By contributing to Project STAR, you too can be a part of making a Jamaica where everyone is valued and has the opportunity to thrive.
So everybody come together.
Come along, come on board. Forward. Forward. Everybody forward.
Join Project STAR's Forward movement today. Make a donation at bit.ly/ProjectStarJSSE or call your broker to buy STAR Social Stocks.
Everybody forward really means what it really says. It means that all of us have a part to play, and all of us need to be at the table if we're going to experience sustainable development in our communities and by extension in our country.
My name is Keith Duncan.
My name is Safri.
My name is Damian Hilton. Everybody forward.